This is Short-Term Rental Management, the show that is all about short-term rental property management with your host, yours truly, Luke Carl. Here we go, showtime. Luke, the long hair extraordinaire, the shaman of short-term. So happy to be here. Today, we are going to talk about how a long-term rental can make you better at short-term rental.
This episode of the Short Term Show is brought to you by the Short Term Shop. If you're interested in buying a short-term rental in one of the top vacation markets in America, just go to theshorttermshop.com and click Get Connected with an Agent. If you purchase a home with the shop, you'll have access to all of our client-only benefits, such as training on how to manage your short-term rental. So we'll teach you everything you need to know, from how to set up your Airbnb and Vrbo listings, to how to use the property management software that you'll need to streamline your business, all the way down to helping you source your local boots on the ground like cleaners, handy people, etc. We've taught thousands of people just like you how to buy and manage their vacation homes from anywhere in the world. So head on over to theshorttermshop.com and click Get Connected with an Agent to get started. I do have to mention that we're brokered by EXP, or else I get in trouble. We'll see you guys over there.
All right. Hey now. Today, talking about long terms. A little bit, mostly talking about short terms, talking about rental real estate in general, okay? So I started my career, I got one long term, and then I went into these short terms because I had no choice. Next closest market to my house was the Smokies, and that's what you did there. Simple as that. I didn't say, I'm getting into short term because it's so hip and cool. I mean, it is. I enjoy it, but I didn't even think about it. I was just like, okay, can I buy this house and put it on the internet and make money with it? Sweet, let's do it, So I got 5 of those quickly. Don't ask me how. I didn't have any money, man, but we just made it work. This was a long time ago. And then I went back to long-term rentals, and I've been through it all. You got to go through this stuff. You got to be good at your craft. You got to put in your 10,000 hours. You've got to. So sometimes when I hear these folks complaining about this and that or asking questions about this and that, I'm like, how do you not, like, what? I hate to say it, but how do you not know that? Oh, you don't have a long-term rental. And there are very few, really. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's still the same damn thing. It's rental real estate. But I have been through evictions. I've been through placing tenants. I've been through the personalities, the broken dishwashers. It's a different animal when a dishwasher breaks in a long term than when it breaks in a short term. And you just got to be great at your craft. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're looking to be in full-time rental real estate and do this for a living, first of all, you better have a lot of cash. And second of all roads lead to commercial real estate. They do. Now, the short terms can get you there. I use my short terms to go buy more long terms. And now I use the whole damn fire to build the fire bigger. And then at a certain point, you might use that fire to start paying stuff off. Stop working so damn hard. Who knows? The sky's the limit. Space is the place. But if you've got a long-term rental, you're going to learn a lot. And you need to. You got to do it. Go out there and get yourself a $150,000 house somewhere within 4 or 5 hours of your house. It's going to exist. If you live in California, forget it. But otherwise, it will exist. $150,000 house going to rent for $1,400, $1,500. If you're lucky, that 1% thing, it's kind of tricky these days. Now, really, you're hoping this thing doesn't lose money is all you're doing. It's a savings account. Simple as that. That's all it is. So if you get yourself a long-term rental, manage it yourself. I do not recommend people self-managing long-term rentals. But you should do it for a period of time so you know how it works. So that you can put a property manager on there and have a conversation with them and let them do their damn job. Okay? I see that all the time. I see it in short term too. I see people posting in Facebook groups. Can you give me some advice on this, this, and this? Saw it the other day. This guy posted his listing. strlistingadvice.com. We've got a Facebook group where you can post your listing and get advice on things that maybe you could do to make it a little nicer. We'd love to have you join us over there. It's a lot of fun. But this guy posted his listing, and for whatever reason, the profile caught my eye, and I went and clicked on his profile, and I opened it up, and I'm like, this is some kind of property manager. I go, do you have 5 properties in this market? It was 5 properties. I said, do you have 5 properties in this market, or are you using some kind of manager? He said, it's a manager. We just started with him. And I said, what? And the pictures were terrible. They had 0 reviews. This was like some kind of brand new property management company. It looked like they probably didn't even have licenses, you know. And I was like, I gotta be. He's like, well, it was my cleaner. They decided to start managing properties. And I was like, what? I don't think so, man. I'm not looking to be somebody's guinea pig on you know, the first property they ever put on Verbo. I don't think so. Go get yourself somebody that's got 200 properties. You know, and that's a fine line there when it comes to property management. We'll do another podcast some other day on how to choose a good property manager. But in the long term, let me get back to the point. I think it is a good idea to self-manage. Even from a distance, it's difficult. You got to show the unit. That's the hardest part from a distance, showing the unit, because it really is. There's something to be said there to meeting these folks in real life and getting the personality and things like that. See if you're going to click with them, if you want them in your house. Of course, all fair housing in line there. There are options to do it virtually. You could put a lockbox. You could do it just like a short term with a code, you know, or even an end code where you can change it from your phone if you want to. There's also a service I used to use called Tenant Turner, which was really cool. And basically they kind of handled that stuff. I mean, there's nothing really that you probably couldn't do with an end code today. But Tenant Turner kind of automates that. So they know who's going in the house when and that kind of stuff. And it sounds like Tina Turner, which is really cool. Left you a good job in the city. Working for the man every night and day. Not in rental real estate. Sell with the short-term shop. Are you looking to sell your short-term rental? Or even 1031 into a different property? Our team of realtors will work hard to get you the most for your investment. We are experts in our field, and put yourself in as the manager of this long-term rental for a while, or 2 or 3 or 5 of them. I think I had a 10 or 11 doors long-term before I ended up putting a manager on there. That's just how I did it. That's probably too many. I was probably dumb. I grew up, you know, work hard, do it yourself, and change your own oil, that kind of thing. And hiring people, difficult for me. At least it used to be. But you know, so I did it myself. I did it from 3 hours each, 2.5 hours each way, give or take. Chattanooga, I was buying houses in Chattanooga, duplexes in Chattanooga, wonderful town. I was living in Tennessee, but it was 2.5 hours. And I was driving back and forth, putting tenants in, putting appliances in by myself, putting in that hard work, doing it. Painting, new carpet, making sure the carpet, you know, hiring a carpet guy, making sure he shows up from 2.5 hours away, all that stuff for years. And I learned it all, man. I've been through it all. I learned how to communicate with these folks. I learned how to judge personalities. I learned who was going to pay late and who wasn't, and what to do about that. If you don't know how to handle collecting rents on long term, you know, you're going to learn a lot about rental real estate in general and be better at it. And then you're going to be like, man, this is so easy with short term. All I do is just, they book it and I get paid when they move and they check in, man. This is so simple. I have to chase them down for the rent and charge them a late fee every month. And then you get an eviction, and it sucks. I did my very first eviction alone. I did it myself. And it was difficult, and it took 8 months, and I lost a lot of money. And I learned from it. I went to eviction court, and there was the same lawyer going up for every docket. And I said, who's that guy? So I called him up, and I said, hey man, I noticed you're doing all the evictions at the court. And he's like, yeah, you know, that's what we do. We do real estate. I said, hey, can I hire you? And he's like, yeah, no problem. And it was a long journey for me. He worked for the biggest property manager in town. And eventually he's like, dude, why are you working so hard? Just put it with the property manager. And he was right. So all these little things, they just click into place over time. And it's just been such an amazing journey. And I didn't want to hear that. I didn't want to hear don't self-manage it, because I was like, I can't afford 8%. I can't afford the 10% to pay this guy. But I was getting to the point there where I couldn't afford the time. And it took somebody else saying, hey, dude, you ain't got the time for this, for me to listen. So, but you go sit in eviction court, you're going to learn a lot about rental real estate. You got to put yourself through all this stuff. 10,000 hours, and it will make you better at short term. It really will. I don't have any specific examples as to why, but the other day I was talking to somebody and I was like, this dude needs a long term. You can't know everything about everything unless you got it all. You've done it all, right? And not everybody wants to do that. But if you're looking to take it to the next level, because that's who comes to me. Everybody wants to take it to the next level, be the next Cardone, the rock and roll real estate rock star. How the hell are you going to do that if you don't know how to place a tenant? You know what I mean? And how are you going to get into multifamily or mobile homes or storage units? Now, you could just learn trial by fire, but it's a lot easier to just jump in on a $150,000 house for $30,000 out of pocket and some rehab and take it from there. Patience. I'm a guy that has no patience for anything. But real estate, you got no choice. Get rich slow. Take your time. Go shop around for $150,000 3-2 in a good school district. And it will make you a better host. I can guarantee it. I love you. Short-term rental management. Talking about long terms. Long-haired Luke. Don't overthink it.